We are live, and today we are talking more about a possible government shutdown and how that could impact your immigration case. Now, as I said earlier, if the most important thing for you to know about a government shutdown and how that could impact your immigration case is to focus on your mindset. What am I talking about? What is your mindset? Your mindset is not what you think about. It's how you think about what you're thinking about. Does that make sense? Now, if you read the news and you follow the news, you will drive yourself crazy, first of all. But secondly, you're going to have a lot of information that's going to scare you. You're going to think, oh my God, a government shutdown? What's going to happen? I've been waiting for years for my green card. I've been trying to get my naturalization. My naturalization interview's coming up. And then there's a government shutdown. Oh my God, what's going to happen? And you go into freak out mode. Instead, what I want you to do is stay calm, stay collected, and I want you to focus on your goal. And your goal is to reach your goal. Your goal is to reach your goal. And your goal is probably to become a U.S. citizen, to get a green card, to get a work permit, to get a visa for your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. Whatever your goal is, you need to focus with determination on that goal. And the government shutdown, a possible government shutdown, is just one of the many, many, many things that happens in the background. Yasser, good morning. Good morning. One of our friends just joined us from YouTube, and I want to welcome him. I want to welcome all of you together to join us, and I'm going to be taking questions. I'll answer or try to answer any question that you have today on immigration, about the government shutdown, about visas, naturalization, anything else. And if you don't know me, I'm Josh Goldstein. I'm an immigration lawyer. I'm passionate about helping people reach their immigration goals, people just like you. So if you're out there and you're wondering, how can I become a citizen? How can I get a green card? How can I do this? How can I really make this happen? What are my options? How do I overcome the things that are standing in my way? I'm here to help you out. And I'm also going to be having a guest today, our good friend Halle, who is going to be joining us to ask some questions. But first, hello, my friend. Thank you. Good seeing you too. Yasser says, I'm from Afghanistan. I worked as a translator for the U.S. military in Afghanistan. I applied for my sister as she is at the KBL stage. Interview. What do you need? What is your advice? Well, first of all, Yasser, I want to thank you for your service. And I want to use this as a chance to say hi to all my friends and clients and brothers and sisters from the Afghan community. We have a large community here in California, or in the Sacramento area. We're in the process of opening an office in that area because we have so many Afghan clients. We love helping them, as we do all people from all countries. Well, your sister should get an interview hopefully soon. But if the case gets stuck, as they often do with Afghan cases, then you should reach out to us for specific case advice. Now, joining me to talk more about all this is our dear friend Halle. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Garth. I'm so glad to be here. It's, I think, a very good opportunity for our community to ask their questions directly from you, and that's great. Okay, the next question is that my case is pending at NBC because I couldn't find a joint sponsor. I have enough income properties here, but I don't know how to find a joint sponsor.
I
Uh,
love this question. Case is stuck at the NVC because the person cannot find a joint sponsor. So what's the answer to that question? The answer to the question is to find a damn joint sponsor. Don't tell me you can't find a joint sponsor. I've been practicing immigration law for more than 20 years. I cannot tell you how many times in my career someone has called me and said, but Josh, I don't have anybody that could be my joint sponsor. I don't know who's going to do it. Oh my God, I can't ask someone to be my joint sponsor. I'm not going to do it. Well, listen, the question is this. Do you want your visa? And if the answer is yes, then the question is, then what you need to know is you will not get your visa without a joint sponsor. You will not get the visa. There's no way around this. So if your immigration case hinges on getting a joint sponsor, then pick up the damn phone, call every single person you know, and ask someone to do you a solid and to help you by becoming a joint sponsor. Don't tell me you can't do that. And every single time someone tells me that they can't possibly find a joint sponsor, I say that they have to. And guess what? Lo and behold, they find a joint sponsor. I have never had a case where someone says, there's no way I can find a joint sponsor. They always find someone, and you'll find someone too. It always happens. It must happen. The problem is people don't want to ask for help. They don't want to ask for help, but they have to. You must get a joint sponsor, and that's it.
Yeah, I know that, Josh,
That's
because
it.
yeah, of course they should do that. Sometimes it
No
seems
joint
like,
sponsor, no green card, no
yeah,
visa. Game over. Those are the
yeah,
stakes.
yeah, that's true. The problem is that, some families think it is a very serious responsibility
It is a
to
serious
be.
responsibility. It
Could you
is
please
serious.
explain what are the responsibility of a joint sponsor?
Well, the responsibilities of a joint sponsor is something that probably deserves to be in a different video because it's a little bit technical. But to go back to the earlier question, if you're somebody whose immigration is stuck because you just can't possibly find a joint sponsor, you're not trying hard enough, or the immigration case is not important enough. You have got to be vulnerable, and you've got to ask for help. And that's not easy, and it's not comfortable. And sometimes people don't want to do it. And there's no way around it. You got to do it. Suck it up and call your friends and family and ask them to help you, because you're not going to get the green card without it. And what the responsibilities of a joint sponsor are is probably a very good video, but that's second. Now, sometimes people say, Josh, can you help me find a joint sponsor? And there's no way that ethically that I can be your joint sponsor or that I could help you. I've had clients over the years that I would love to have personally been their joint sponsor. I can't do it. Now, here's something I want to show to shift gears. Osmar, our good friend on LinkedIn, he says, I just want to tell you that you were my lawyer when I requested my green card, and you and your team were very helpful and committed. I anonymously have recommended you to so many people, and I want to thank you for that. You're somebody who's in the Hall of Fame in our office. Everybody was cheering when we helped you out, and it's good to see you. Thank you for joining in. Holly, let's go to some more questions.
Sure, of course. The next question is that my father had interview yesterday. Unfortunately, he forgot to bring a marriage certificate
Ah,
and a military card. And the officer told that he was placed in administrative processing. I just want to know it happened because of missing documents, or he needs FBI check should be done anyway.
okay, so there's two. So let's dig into this question. Basically, the facts are as follows. Someone's father went for a immigrant visa interview, and unfortunately, he forgot to bring his marriage certificate. And then after that, he was placed in administrative processing for a background check, right?
Yes.
So there's a couple things that we can learn from this. This guy showed up at his interview without his marriage certificate. Does that sound like a good idea? Obviously, it was a mistake, but don't let yourself make that mistake. If you have a visa interview or a green card interview or an asylum interview, this is an incredibly important event. It's a magical moment. The officer is there, the file is on the desk, the approval stamp is next to the file, and your job is to get that approval stamp right on the paperwork. And if you leave your documents at home, you have screwed up. You have to bring every single document with you. Your marriage certificate, your divorce certificate, your criminal record, your kids' birth certificates, your birth certificate, your etc., your passport, your old passport, your driver's license. Just think of every shred of paper that has any relevance or potential relevance, and make sure that when that officer asks you for a document, you do not say, "Oh, I left that at home." Because if you leave it at home, it's not going to do anybody a damn bit of good. And so please don't make that mistake. Now, going back to the question. Now, first of all, this person was put into administrative processing for a background check. Now, what I want to say about that is the person that's kicking themselves because they didn't have their divorce certificate. My guess is that had they brought all the paperwork, guess what would have happened? They'd still be in administrative processing. That's because the administrative processing was probably not because of the lack of the paperwork. It's probably because the person is from a majority Muslim country and they were unfairly profiled for some sort of bullshit security check. That's what I think is going on. Bring all your documents, but if you're put in administrative processing, what you need to know, administrative processing is a delay that happens after the completion of your interview. And you need to know that there are two ways and only two ways out. The first way is that you take your hands and you sit on them and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. And eventually, at some point, the visa will be processed and issued or denied or whatever. They'll reach a decision. The other thing that you can do is if the waiting goes on for more than a couple of months and you're really frustrated, you have options and our team can help you. We fight back. We help people fight back against unreasonable processing delays because it's not fair and it's not legal, and there's remedies that you can do to fight back.
Yeah, perfect. Let me translate that for our Persian community. یکی از دوستان پرسیدن که پدر ایشون روز گذشته مصاحبه داشتن و متاسفانه مدرک ازدواج و کارت سربازیشون رو فراموش کردن و بعد از اتمام مصاحبه آفیسر بهشون گفتن که ایشون وارد ادمینستریتیو پروسسینگ شدن یا اصطلاحاً AP شدن و ایشون میخوام بدونم به خاطر نقص مدارک بوده یا اینکه در هر صورت ایشون AP میشدن. آقای جاش توضیح دادن که حدس ایشون بر این هست حتی اگر مدارک ایشون کامل می بود ولی باز هم ایشون به بک‌گراند چک وارد می شدن. بنابراین کاری که شما میتونید بکنید این که همه مدارک رو کامل ببرید ولی باز این احتمال در هر صورت هست، یعنی این گزینه وجود داره که مدارک شما کامل باشه ولی وارد AP بشین چون AP یک پروسه کاملا جدا داره. Okay, that's
Well, I
great.
have a couple good questions on TikTok I want to get to, and Instagram. I want to welcome our friends on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. We also have a Facebook group for visa delays, and I want to welcome all of our friends from all these different communities and LinkedIn and Twitter. I'm so privileged that you tuned in and spent a little time with us. Now, one of the questions from Sumit Kolindrekar. Sumit Kolindrekar says, my I-485 has been pending for 39 months. I sent an inquiry and no progress. What can I do? And the answer is that you should go to our website, which is www.jgoldlaw.com. You'll find it in our profile as well. And you should book an appointment with us. And you should consider taking action. 39 months is a long time. And I can't tell you just based on that time period whether we can help you or not, but there may be an option. There may be an option. And I really would like an opportunity to chat with you. There is no cost. We don't charge for our strategy sessions with prospective new clients. We have Michelle Wan L in a PhD program in depressed. Sorry to hear that. I would say if you're in a PhD program, you have my respect. It's a difficult thing, and it shows that you're someone with an education, with ambition, with learning. And if you're depressed, you should seek a therapist, mental health counseling services. Depression is a killer. It's no joke. And I think this is going beyond my role as a lawyer, but I think that mental health is critically important for everyone. And therapy is something that you need to do, just like brushing your teeth or going to the gym. I think it's important for your self-care, and you should explore whatever options your school has. But don't just stay depressed, please. So, Halle, why don't you hit me with some more questions?
Sure. My wife's mother has been waiting for background check for a year. We received an email from the Armenia embassy last night, and that it says they canceled the case. Do you know what does it mean?
Okay. So first of all, let me repeat the question and then I'll dig into it. Someone says that their wife's mother has been in a background check for more than a year. And then they got an email that's saying the case was canceled. Okay. So first of all, when I hear the word background check, I get upset. It's not fair. It's not legal for them to put people in background checks that go on and on and on and on. Everyone who applies for an immigration benefit, a work permit, a visa, a green card, whatever it is, every applicant should be vetted carefully. Every applicant should be put through a background check. The problem is that they don't finish the background check within a reasonable period of time. It just drags on and on and on and on. It's not fair. It's not legal. When I hear the word background check, it makes me immediately think that a lawsuit would be successful. If your case is stuck in a background check, don't put up with that for more than 60 days. Take action and sue them. Background checks are bullshit. No case should be delayed like that. Now, let's go to the second part of the question. The person says that they got an email that said their case was suddenly canceled. That doesn't seem right. Now, I think that the visa probably got an email. My guess is that said that the visa was expired. That's probably technically what they were told. Now, if your visa, if you don't take action on the visa, the case can be canceled because you failed to take action on it. And that's when they send you the expired message. 9 times out of 10, I think the expiration message is in error, and it's very frightening for people. We have many lawsuits that we filed where people are like, oh my God, my immigration case was canceled because it said expired. And I'm always talking people off the ledge. I'm saying, okay, come on, calm down, take a deep breath. It's probably not accurate. And they get very upset, understandably, but it's probably inaccurate. Now, the second thing is if you get this expired messages, there are things you can do. You can contact the consulate and tell them that you don't want the case to be expired. All this is just speculation because we don't know what really happened. And the best thing to do in this situation would be to seek a consultation with our team so we can carefully look at it. You can book a free strategy session with our team through our website, which is www.jgoldlaw.com. Remember, there's hope. You can reach your immigration goal. And I think that's part of the problem with people who don't have lawyers. They're filing the paperwork. They're hoping for the best. Things just get stuck endlessly. They don't take any action on it. They keep waiting. And then the case gets canceled, perhaps unfairly. Maybe it was accurately canceled. But, you know, these are the results that happen through miscommunication when the cases are mishandled. If you have a good, competent lawyer, your case is not going to be strung along like that or canceled. Does that help?
Yeah, perfect. Makes sense. Actually, yeah, I asked her to send the email to see what is exactly did they say cancel or expired as you mentioned. So just let me translate that for her.
Sure.
یکی از دوستان پرسیدن که مادر همسر ایشون بیشتر از 1 ساله که توی بک‌گراند چک هستن و شب گذشته ایمیل گرفتن که کیس ایشون کنسل شده و حالا باید چی کار کنن. آقای جورج گفتم به نظر این درست نمیاد که ایمیل بزنم و بگم کیس کنسل شده. ممکنه ایمیل کرده باشین که کیس اکسپایر شده، که این به این معنی هست که شما کانتکتی با سفارت نداشتین و جای نگرانی نیست. میتونید تماس بگیرین با سفارت و بگین که نمیخواید کیستون بسته شه یا اکسپایر بشه. ولی اگر که با در واقع آفیس آقای جاش تماس بگیرین، ایشون میتونن که بررسی کنن ببینن دقیقا مسئله چی بوده. آدرس سایت هست jgoldlaw.com. شما میتونید وارد سایت بشین و اونجا سوالتون رو بپرسید یا با یکی از شماره آفیس های ایشون توی کالیفرنیا یا بوستون تماس بگیرید. Okay, that's great.
All right. What other questions do we have?
The next question is that I received interview appointment email. I was asked to upload I-864 form, but I don't have access to my joint sponsor anymore. Is it necessary to upload the most recent form?
So let me see if I understand this correctly. This person is going through visa processing at the National Visa Center, and they've been asked to upload an I-864. Is that correct?
Yeah, he uploaded, but at the interview, before interview, he was asked to update the I-860 form, the most recent one. He asked that is it necessary because he doesn't access to the joint sponsor now.
So the person, okay, so you're going through the National Visa Center, the consular processing system. You've been asked to upload an I-864 when you get to the National Visa Center. Then before the interview, they send you a message to update the I-864. And this person no longer has a joint sponsor, so they're saying, do I have to do that? Well, what do you think?
Yeah,
Of
actually,
course.
he needs to update the forms, but
It's not that complicated. When you're told to do something, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's simple. Now, let's go back to the second part of the question. So first part of the question is, do I have to update it? The answer is yes, you do. Second part of the question, the person no longer has, their joint sponsor has backed out, so they can't update it. So what is the solution to that issue? Well, the solution is to get another affidavit of support. Find another one from someone else. And we talked about this in the last live session. A lot of times people bitch and moan about the fact that they can't find someone to be their joint sponsor. I understand it's not easy. It's not fun. It's difficult to ask someone for this type of help to be their joint sponsor, to be your joint sponsor. But you know, the stakes are huge. If you don't find a joint sponsor, you're not going to get your immigration case approved. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's correct. You know that because some applicants getting their visa without uploading the most recent I-864 because maybe they have time to extend the so maybe he wants to know that maybe use this opportunity to extend the time to upload the recent.
Here's a good question from Pretty Diva 911 on Instagram. She says, If your name is not added to any bills in the house and the mortgage in filing a marriage-based green card, will that be a problem? Let me dive into that one for a minute. So when you're going to get an immigration, when you're going to get a green card or a visa through marriage, you have to prove that your marriage relationship is genuine. It's not enough to just have a marriage certificate showing that you're legally married. You have to prove that your marriage relationship is genuine. And a lot of times people's minds are blown by this. Like, oh my God, how do I do that? There are many, many ways to prove that your marriage relationship is genuine. You need pieces of paper to help you do that. You need pieces of paper. And a lot of times the pieces of paper are financial documents that show that you live together. So if your spouse owns a house, you want your name to be added to the mortgage or the deed, or the insurance or the bank accounts, et cetera, et cetera. Now, a lot of times when I get to this issue, people are like, wait a minute, what if I get a letter from one of my friends? Don't get a letter from your friends. My friends would write a letter saying anything. That's not going to be taken seriously. What you're looking for are financial documents with both your names on it, bank accounts showing money in it, driver's licenses showing the same address that you live together. Um, Photographs are good. My favorite photograph is the spouse with the in-laws. I love that photograph. Here's a picture of me with my mother-in-law and my father-in-law and all my spouse's brothers and sisters who came to the wedding. That's a winner right there. How to prove that your marriage relationship is genuine is probably the topic for another video, but those are some tips that I think would help you out. Hallie, why don't you ask me some more questions? What have you got?
Sure. The next question is that my father is a U.S. citizen, and he applied for me about 13 years ago. I'm divorced and I have a kid. Is there any way to get an interview appointment sooner?
Okay, so the question is, someone's father applied for them many years ago, and the person is not married, and the question is, how do you get an appointment sooner? Okay, so the first thing that you have to know to understand the answer to this question, you have to understand the way that the immigration system works on a basic level. We have a system that is based on the visa bulletin. Each month, the State Department on its website publishes what's called the visa bulletin. And the visa bulletin sort of shows you where you're at in a queue. And it's based on your country of origin, and it's based on your case type and the date that you filed it. Those are the three factors. And you can look each month to see where they're at. Now, 13 years is a really long time. Maybe this case is current. But on the other hand, for example, if you're from the Philippines and your brother or sister is a US citizen and petitions for you, it could take like more than 30 years to get a visa. It varies all the time. So the first question that I would ask to answer that is to figure out whether the person's priority date for their particular category is current. And then I would take it from there.
اوکی پرفکت. دوست عزیزی پرسیدن که پدر ایشون سیتیزن امریکا هستن و 13 سال پیش برای ایشون درخواست دادن. ایشون در حال حاضر طلاق گرفتن و یک فرزند دارن. پرسیدن که آیا راهی هست که بتونن سریعتر ویزاشون رو بگیرن. آقای جاش توضیح دادن که باید ویزا بولتن رو چک بکنید که هر ماه آپدیت میشه و ببینید که توی کاتگوری ویزا اسپانسر شما آیا کیستون کارن شده یا نه؟ اگر که کارن شده بود در واقع این امکان برای شما هست که بتونید در واقع اینترویو اپاینتمنت بگیرین، ولی بستگی داره که نشنالیتی شما کجا هست، چون اگر از بعضی از کشورها باشه ممکنه سالهای خیلی بیشتری طول بکشه. Okay, perfect. Could you please share our Telegram channel to our friends?
Yeah, so just so you know, we have a Telegram channel. Can you put the link, please? So we have a Telegram channel specifically for the Persian community, and we have content on there that we don't share anywhere else that is a particular interest to people who are in Iran or from Iran. And the name of the Telegram channel is Visas for Iranians, and I'm going to put it in the LinkedIn. I'm going to put it in the comments everywhere so you can see. And if you need help or have questions and you are from Iran or Persian, then you may get a lot of benefit out of this channel. But of course, I say we're speaking in Farsi and we're talking about issues for the Persian community. But of course, we have so many clients who are Mexican, Filipino, Canadian, English, really people from all over. We help people regardless of their religion or lack thereof, regardless of their national origin or their sexual orientation or anything. Our door is welcome to everyone, and we treat everyone equally. And that's also true with our staff. We have people from all different walks of life, and we like to be a welcoming place for everyone. That's a core value for me and something that's super important. Let me find some more questions. We've got some really good ones here. Here's a good one. Here's one of our friends from Pakistan. He's currently working in Malaysia as a chef. I don't have a work permit or a visa. My dream is to move to America. Give me ideas. How's this possible? That's a great question. Well, without knowing anything about your situation, it's very hard for me to come up with an answer, but I have a few ideas that may help. First of all, the United States has a green card lottery. Every year it gives out visas for people based on their basically on a lottery system. So each year, the number of the countries that qualify for the lottery change, and it comes out in actually very soon. It comes out in October, I believe. So if you're eligible, there's no reason in the world why you shouldn't fill out an application for the green card lottery. Now, sometimes people say, oh, green card lottery, what are the chances? I'll never win that. Well, the chances are zero if you don't fill out the application. And I've seen some terrible, horrible scams online where people are like, oh, we're going to take your application and put you into priority status for the Visa lottery. Don't fall for that. It's free. If the website doesn't end in .gov, you're in the wrong place. Nobody should, if you need help with the application, we can help you out. But you shouldn't pay to be in the lottery. It's free. The second idea that I have is a different one. The person said that they're a chef. Now, we have in the US talent-based immigration. I have gotten a green card for someone who was a chef. He was Mexican and he was a chef, but he wasn't just any chef. This guy was a really well-renowned cook who had written cookbooks. He was on TV. He had a massive social media following. This guy was really a world-renowned master of Mexican cuisine. And we helped him get a green card based on his accomplishments as a chef. So whether this person would qualify or not, I don't know. So that's interesting. Here's a question on YouTube. Juan Ziranda. Would you say that I have a good shot at being approved once I submit documents showing that it was dismissed? Wait, it goes back. I'm an AP, that's administrative processing. The consulate is asking about a criminal case I had back in 2006. They are focused on a charge that was dropped. I'm gathering the documents now to show that the case was dismissed. Well, I hope that you would be approved, because a dismissed case is not one that should be held against you, because in the U.S. we have a presumption of innocence. You're in criminal court, you're presumed to be innocent. And if the case was dismissed, then you were not held legally responsible in any way. Maybe they just unfairly arrested you or charged you with something that you were innocent of. Nevertheless, under the immigration laws, there are some results that to me seem very unfair. For example, people who were charged with drug offenses the charge could later be held against them, which I hope is not the case. So I really can't give you detailed information about that without reviewing the case more carefully. And that's something you probably would want to do in a confidential, private consultation. So I hope that helps. Here's Elon Musk has joined us. Incredible. On TikTok, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is asking us a question about a delayed SIV case. I wonder why. Mr. Musk, good job at SpaceX and Tesla and Twitter. Not so good at Twitter. But anyway, it says here, what can I do for a delayed SIV case, and is there any chance? We have helped so many people with delayed SIV cases, Iraqis and Afghans who worked as translators and who helped the U.S. military. If your case is stuck, reach out to us. We can help you out. There's a strong likelihood that we may be able to help you out. So please reach out to us you can find a way to reach out to us through our bio or through our website, which is www.jgoldlaw. Now, Hallie, what other questions do you have for me?
The next question is that the officer approved my sister's visa, and he got her passport, and after 2 days, the visa status was changed to administrative processing on SIAC website. And I just want to know, how long does it take the visa will be issued?
Okay, so I'm always a little slow to process the information, like an old computer. Now, make sure I have this right. Was the person's case approved and then put in administrative processing?
Actually, she had interview and last week, and the officer approved the visa and kept the visa to put the stamp on it.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So the first thing that I would say, the first thing that you need to know is that a visa is not approved until you have it actually in your hand. This is a source of a lot of confusion. A lot of times people go to their interview and they say, the officer approved my case, but then I still haven't gotten approved yet. Well, which is it? It doesn't make sense. You're either approved or not approved. It's like being pregnant. You can't be pregnant and not pregnant. You're either one or the other. If the officer says you're approved and you don't have the visa in your hand, then you are not approved. It doesn't matter what the officer says. You don't have the visa, you can't travel to the US. So that's it. Now, if you're stuck in administrative processing, there are two ways out. One way is to wait. The other way is to take action. You should give it a couple of months, but after that point, if your case is still stuck in administrative processing, you need to ask yourself the following question. Would you be okay waiting endlessly for this? Would you be okay waiting another 6 months or a year or 2 years? At some point, continuing to wait is no longer going to be acceptable. You deserve a decision on your immigration case. And if you're stuck in administrative processing, or if you have any other kind of mysterious bullshit delay, you need to know that you have legal rights and you can fight back, and we can help you do that.
Yes, perfect. دوست عزیزی پرسیدن که آفیسر موقع مصاحبه گفتن ویزا ایشون اپروف شده ولی ویزا رو هنوز دریافت نکردن و آقای جورج توضیح دادن که تا زمانی که شما ویزا دستتون نیست نمیتونید بگید که ویزاتون اپروف شده. اگر که توی پروسه AP قرار دارید در واقع دو تا گزینه هست، یعنی که میتونید صبر کنید ببینید چه زمانی بهتون ویزا میدن یا اینکه اقدام کنید که تنها گزینه قانونی که وجود داره رید آف مندمس هست. میتونید درخواست بدین کیس شما ارزیابی بشه ببینن که آیا شرایط لازم برای فایل کردن رو دارید یا خیر. اگر امکانش رو داشتید میتونید درخواست بدین که سریعتر ویزاتون دریافت کنید. اوکی پرفکت.
So I'm going to take another question on
Go.
TikTok here. Scooby the Sheepoo. I like that name. She says, on hearing day, DHS said she's unprepared. The judge gave us another date. DHS requested PD now. And I don't know what the question is, but basically what's happening in this person's case is that this applies to immigration court. That's a court where the government tries to deport people from the U.S. and immigration attorneys try to help people get green cards in defense. And a lot of times the DHS attorneys are unprepared, don't have the file. Things drag on month after month, year after year. There's a big backlog of cases, a big source of frustration. And then it says DHS requested for PD now. PD means prosecutorial discretion. That means that the case will be dropped. And whether or not you want to take PD or the benefits and the risks are something you want to carefully review with an immigration lawyer. What other questions do people have out there? Faisal says he's been telling people about me in Pakistan, and I'm doing great work helping cases. Thank you so much, sir. I'm happy to help all my brothers and sisters in Pakistan, India, Malaysia, Afghanistan, and everywhere else.